Hello, my name is Nick, and I'm gonna read one part of my story. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because that's way too long. Because how long did mine end up being? Mine was like 7 pages. Like that's crazy. But so the paragraph I'm gonna read is about the exosystem, and this is the ring that follows the mesosystem. This ring is about the factors that influence my life, even though I never directly interacted with them. The main factors I talk about include my parents' workplaces, their economic situations, community services, and mass media. Oops, I forgot a letter there. Starting with my parents' workplaces, I never knew much about either of them. I knew my dad did construction, which got stunted by the weather a lot, so he never really had that much money when I was growing up. He did, however, tell me how important it was to save money. He messed up and made a lot of mistakes when it came to money. Oh, excuse me. But he didn't want me to end up like him. So after years of working and saving, I had thousands of dollars to spend on whatever I wanted to buy a new wardrobe, get my hair done, etc. That was when, I was like making myself all pretty because it needed to be done. But my dad didn't really appreciate that, thinking that I was wasting my money, even though I earned it, so, but I mean, I guess his teachings paid off, right? I had plenty that I saved over a couple years. My mom, though, was definitely my most stable parent when it came to money, as she usually held good paying jobs. I could never remember what she said or what she did exactly because it felt like it changed a few times, either getting laid off or needing a career change. But she taught me to be a hard worker and to never let someone stand in the way of my success. Oops. Okay. If a boss was mistreating you or being unfair, she taught me to never sit back and take it. This section has really helped me realize how influential my parents were and how I got to where I am today. As for community services, again, at this point, I was living in Matamidi because I moved to my dad's from my mom's in Coon Rapids. But I kind of stayed away from the people around my dad's house. I didn't want to support a community that at times felt so hateful. During like the 4th of July, there'd be American flags lining both sides of the roads. It felt like there were Trump signs. I just didn't really vibe with all that. I didn't want to, okay, I already said that. As a gay Democrat, I think you can understand my feelings on that. Finally, the media heavily influenced me. During the time of my story, I began learning more about the world and the issues surrounding our government and politics at play. Whether it was on Instagram or TikTok, I spent my time sharing links, petitions, and websites, for movements in support of the LGBT community, Black Lives Matter, etc. Again, I was taught to stand up for myself and my rights, so I despised any hateful speech, towards, gay, trans people, and also minorities. This also caused a divide between me and my stepdad, my real dad, and my stepmom, who were all Trump supporters who hated BLM. There was one time I was living at my dad's, and some guy had a, little Trump thing in his lawn, and, they got mad at me for taking it out of the yard and throwing it away. Rude. But it was awful living in a home, knowing their feelings were the exact opposite of mine, and there was no way to sit down and have a conversation with them without it turning into an argument. My father. So yeah, that's that section. And, the topics we covered in class, like, Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, all 4 of the rings really helped me analyze my story and, break it down into sections. And in like each of the different sections, for example, the first ring being the microsystem, it's all about immediate setting, my home, my immediate family, school. That led me to be able to talk about, home life and the alcohol abuse with my my mom and stepdad, and then the next ring, the mesosystem, actually I didn't do that one very well. Exosystem, exosystem, what I just talked about, let me talk about, my past and my parents' financial issues and how it affected me. So, these are things that I haven't thought about in years. So it was really good to, kind of write about it and think about it again. But yeah, again, the 4 different rings, as well as the additional theory that I chose. Which one was it? Social location. These things, allowed me to deconstruct my story and then talk about individual details in, their specific paragraphs. So, it was interesting. It was kind of fun writing this. But I guess my question for you guys is, can you relate to anything in that what is it? Sorry, y'all. One sec. The exosystem, not ecosystem. In that paragraph that I read, could you relate to anything I talked about? And another question is, can you see how it correlates with the exosystem, and did it all make sense? But yeah, I guess that's my video. Hopefully y'all will be able to read the whole thing. I think some parts of it are funny. So thank you.